last night, the Stormers played like a chocolate ice cream swirl emoji. Very, very, very bad, very bad.
So you don't have to be a smart ass, mate. You don't have to be a smart ass, mate.
The current Stormers team is being operated like a Curry Cup team, and for the Stormers to compete in the European competition next year and in the URC, these are the things they need to change in order for the Stormers team to become more competitive. So, as we all know, the top teams in Europe, Toulouse, Leinster, Bordeaux, Exeter, those teams, they've got money to spend, they have the resources to purchase and get the best players available in the country, the best test players, and if they have a shortage of that, they have the ability to import the best international players from other countries. This is one of the areas where the Stormers are falling flat, and the reason why I'm saying the Stormers are being operated like a Curry Cup team. So Springboks like Siya Kolisi, Eben Etzebeth, Cheslin Colby, and Pieter Steph-Toit, they all indicated their willingness and desires to return to Cape Town because most of their families reside in Cape Town and they would love to be by their families. Unfortunately, the Stormers has no interest in signing Test Springboks. The comment John Dobson made was that they create Springboks. They don't import Springboks, but they export and create Springboks. So I'm thinking that mindset is the mindset that's hindering the Stormers in order for them to become a force in Europe and to become a force in the URC once again. We've all seen that the recipe to be successful in Europe and in the URC, you need players in critical positions to have test experience, to have come through that cauldron of test rugby. You need players with that particular attitude and experience to compete at a very high level in Europe and in the URC. Now the Stormers, last week I read an article that they signed some of the most promising and some of the best schoolboys from the schools in the Cape region. Now we all know that the Cape region in South Africa has the most talent, arguably, in the old world with regards to schoolboy rugby and schoolboy talent. And the Stormers, having seen the potential, especially John Dobson, is the type of guy that likes to mind new talent. You can see in the fact that he brought in Shasha Mazulu as well as someone like Suleiman Hudson-Berg. It seems as if the Stormers has this philosophy. They want to create superstars and to create Springboks and build Springboks and export Springboks and not to import Springboks. However, that is one of the main reasons why the Stormers are not operating at the levels they should operate and why the Stormers are not competitive. That's the first issue I'm seeing. The second issue I'm seeing is the coaching. Now, previously the Stormers Super Rugby as well as in the first and second season of the URC, the Stormers defense were one of the best there is. There's something wrong with the Stormers in the coaching setup. I don't know if it is in a planning issue, a motivation issue, but it's definitely something not right in the Stormers setup at this current moment. Now we all know when John Dobson began, he came in as a Stormers coach. At first season, the Stormers, they were in deep financial trouble and John Dobson had to use what he had to create a team, and they had that mentality of us against the world. Unfortunately, that mentality is not sustainable. You can't have it for more than three seasons. The first 2 seasons it can work, but after the third season, it doesn't work. So the Stormers have been operating on that particular mindset, and that's the mindset you need to have when you're working with less experienced players. You need to dig deep in the psyche in order to bring out the best of them. So my question is, does the Stormers need a new approach? Does the Stormers need a new coach? I wish they could revisit the Eddie Jones experiment, where Eddie Jones said he'd like to go on Tabletop Mountain. So I would like to see fresh blood coming into the Stormers. Unfortunately, that won't happen next season. I think Dobson will still be the next season. But that is something that the Stormers need to look at in order for them to compete in the coming seasons. So if the Stormers doesn't sign experienced players, if the Stormers is still going to have the same coaching structure. They're gonna repeat the same mistakes they did this last season and this season. So if you're a Stormers fan, be prepared to feel the pain again next season. Nothing will change, unfortunately. And the Stormers are losing players as well. Liebok is moving on. Dweba is moving on. Yeah, it's going to be hard times if there's not structural changes made in the Stormers. Yeah, so guys, what do you think about it? Do you think that I'm onto something? What do you think the Stormers need to do to improve next season? Let me hear of you in the comments. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll catch you guys on my next video.